will not. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're doing October wrap up, October haul, and October TBR because I like to smash it all into one because that's how I roll. I'm a smasher, although not of books. Terrible reading month. So first of all, let's kick off with my October wrap up. Again, I have to accept this about myself. I am a slow reader. It doesn't make me less smart. October, I was distracted by a lot of good television, by a lot of reality television, by life stuff. I did manage to get through 2.5 books, which is horrible in comparison to other people, but you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. So the first book I did was Nevernight, and it was amazing. I will leave a review link below, but I loved it in spite of my fantasy hesitations. It's by J. Christoph, it's out in all markets, and it's totally readable, and you should be reading it now and enjoying it. It does come with, I will give it a warning though again, for very adult, sexual and violence scenes, although the characters are of teenage years. This is probably to be read by upper teens and higher. But if you are an upper teen or higher, go crazy. I then finished All Is Not Forgotten, an adult book. It is alarmingly good. It made me think, it challenged me. This book comes with a trigger warning about sexual assault and rape. It intimately discusses both the rape itself, but also the psychological repercussions, so I will add that. But it has a very interesting look at memories and how we process them and what happens when you attempt to shield the mind from those memories, what trauma does and how it weaves, but also a wider interconnecting power of psychologists and therapy. And yeah, it was really fascinating. I really enjoyed this. My next book, and this is where so I did those two this month. I am halfway, probably, that's being generous, probably a third, quarter of the way through, something in between. I'm enjoying this book. It is definitely YA at the moment. The characters are quite young-ish. The writing is simplistic, and again, that's not a slight on it. It's just that this is what I would call a true young adult novel. So I'm finding a little bit, and this word's been corrupted. Well, not corrupted. This word's been used differently in lately pop culture, but I'm finding it's a little basic, and I don't mean like basic bitch or like a basic Becky. I just mean it's just a little bit. It's just simpler than sort of some more complex YA that's running around out there on the same shelf side by side. That being said, I haven't finished it yet. I'm enjoying a look in the Filipino in LA lifestyle, the fear that comes being an undocumented immigrant. So I will put up a review and hopefully finish this soon. Now this poor book has twice been at the last of the TBR, and it's this thing where I try and save books, I do it with everything. I save the thing I'm most enjoying to the end. So when I'm eating and I enjoy, like, say, I'm going to say mashed potato. I don't know why I've said that, but if that's the best part of it, I will save that to the end and eat around it. And I feel like I'm doing it with this book. And so every time I fail my TBR for the month, this is the book that suffers. So it's going to happen for this book. I refuse to let it die. I just feel like this is the book that's always going to be. This is the boy next door book where one day I will realise he's really hot and want to read him straight away, but right now he's just keep on turning up going, pick me, pick me. It's a really weird analogy. I've been watching too much Bachelor, clearly. So what did I haul this month? I hauled a great little month. I had, from the YA Chronicles box, Gemini. Now, I read this a long time ago as a proof copy, so this is my finished final copy with finished final artwork. Yay! And actually what I'm really excited about is that this size, even though it's paperback, I have an Illuminate hardback up there. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, this actual sizing almost matches the hardback, so that's exciting. It doesn't mean I won't eventually go and get the hardback from somewhere, but at the moment, it has sated my desire. It has sated, I can live with it this way. If you're a subscriber to this channel, you do know that I recap the Australian Bachelor and Bachelorette series. Oh yeah, it's a humdinger. It's very different than the US one for those US fans out there, but it's also really good. In the Australian Bachelorette series this year, they shot book covers for Harlequin for Mills and Boon, which was great. And then the people at Mills and Boon sent me them. So I have them. It's pretty exciting. And actually, really excitingly, these feature Australian authors. So no, it's not just the cover. We've got the winner, Lee, Home on the Station, Love on the Land, The Farmer's Love, Country Calling. Now, these are all a collection of stories, so they're not just one story. There are a few different characters and stuff like that. I will actually probably read these at some point. I love a bit of a dip, and I love a bit of a Mills and Boon. I call it a little palate cleanser. Just sometimes when you want to read what you like, complete trope festy, complete thingos, romantic stuff like that, that you know what's going to happen, you can switch your brain off and just power through. So I'm probably going to read them at some point. The lovely people at Penguin Teen Australia sent me Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor. I'm excited to read this one. I loved Magnus Chase last year, and I love the spirit and the fun that Rick Riordan brings to these books. The characterizations are always light and adventurous, and even though this is technically a middle grade read, I know a lot of adults who read it, I know a lot of young adults who read it. I will say it does seem a bit quieter around this in the book sphere, the reaction to this. So I'd love to know if anyone's read this, what their thoughts are. I feel like the noise is a little softer on this series at the moment. So let me know below if you read it, loved it, am I missing all the people going, yay, it's amazing, or is this taking a while to catch on? Maybe. Walker Books then sent me the most beautiful 3-pack hardback collection. So pretty, and all of these covers are stunning. Stunning! So this is a story about a girl called Leah. She's a very dedicated student, and she's trying to be a doctor. She's got a group of friends, and she's sort of the ugly friend amongst them, and people make oink, like pig sounds when she walks past in the hallway. They go to a bar one night, and a guy buys them beers. She takes his phone number and then from a matchbook thing, and then pretends to be her hot, attractive friend, and they start texting and talking. And from there, it sort of spirals out of control. Whether it is a dangerous out of control or an in-love out of control or a bit of both, I'm not sure. But I kind of like the sound of this. So it looks like this, another beautifully gorgeous, gorgeous hardback. This is a story of Mike, who moves to a new city with his father and his younger sister Toby. He meets Sean. His dad wants him to be this tough, strong, traditional kind of guy, and then he meets Sean and he develops feelings for Sean, and what is sort of explored then is what it's like to develop feelings when everyone's watching you and wanting you to be something else. I haven't read this yet. It sounds great. It's some fantastic quotes on this already, and I think this is really one of those books that could do a lot for diversity of representation in YA. So this book is called Phantom Limbs. It's about Otis, whose younger brother died 3 years ago, and he's still coming to terms with it. And he was also his first love also left, his girlfriend, and so he's sort of been lost a little bit. Dara is his friend who lost her arm and has kind of decided to turn him into a swimming superstar that she was destined to be. It all comes to a head when Meg, Otis's first love, comes back into town, and he's obsessed with the idea of her and wanting to get back together and kind of be true love again, and sort of all put the pieces all back together, and how maybe that won't work. Maybe things have changed and he has to accept that. Again, this is another book that I haven't heard too much about, but the little that I have, it sounds amazing. Some great review quotes, and also another gorgeous, beautiful book. Oh, I mean, look at that. It's just pretty. Then I went to I was part of the YA Lit Fest at Nunawading Library in Victoria. It was an awesome day, and I congratulate the library for continuing to invest in these kind of activities and events for young adult readers. Thanks to everyone who came out. It was awesome. They also gave me my sign. But also part of that panel was the lovely Siobhan Plaza, who wrote Frankie. If you haven't read it, what are you doing with your life? Also the lovely Danielle Binks, who was Alpha Reader, who's a fantastic reviewer, blogger, also soon to be editor of compilations of things. There was also the lovely Ellie Marnie, who wrote the Every Breath series back here. Go Ellie. An author who I have weirdly enough never read. I don't know why, just maybe because I had my blinders on for my previous job. So Lily Wilkinson. So I picked up while I was there The Boundless Sublime. I bought this and she signed it for me. So it's about a girl called Ruby, and she's sort of a bit lost. She falls in with a boy called Fox, who is involved in a sort of cult-ish-esque situation. It was interesting. Lily talked about her research into this, including Scientology and a number of other cults, and just the fascinating details that she found of how people kind of go, oh, I'd never fallen with a cult, and how really easy it is to be manipulated. I found that really interesting. I love those kind of true stories. I'm a person who can go down a Wikipedia like binge faster than anything. So this book for me, I definitely going to read this at some point. I've set realistic goals for myself for my October TBR. I'm not going to cheat and include something in between because I'm going to finish it very soon. So that's going to count. The next one, I should put this first. I'll meet you there. I'm going to finish this book if it kills me. Wow. Then I hauled this as well in October, but I'm putting it on my November TBR. Heartless, Marissa Meyer. I'm really excited about this. I know there have been mixed reviews. This is the story of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland and her origin. I don't care in a way. I'm kind of excited to read it. I try not to read the reviews first because I feel like that can sometimes lead me. But then afterwards, I go and read everyone's review to kind of get an idea of what did my feelings match to theirs. I'm so excited to read The Sun Is Also a Star. This is by Nicola Yoon, who wrote last year's Everything Everything. This is about a girl and a guy who meet hours before the girl's family is about to be deported. She's Jamaican, it's in New York. It's got rave reviews. It's already appearing on so many best of lists for the year. And then this is the Noah Hawley Before I Fall. This is the story, I hauled this last month. This is the story about a journalist who's on a plane that crashes with sort of almost like a Kennedy-esque family and what unravels from there. A lot of it is to do with the media coverage of the plane crash and the people involved and what their agendas might be and who might be playing who. I love a bit of the old media analysis stuff. I'm a media junkie. I'm a perception. It's part of my career of, public relations, and that I love seeing how media digest things, but also who the people involved and how they play a part in that, in the narrative story. That's my massive wrap haul TBR video. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can do my 4 books this month. I feel like in the book world, that's not a lot, but if I speak to people outside who don't read at all, who go, I read 4 books a year, they're like, wow, 4 books. So I kind of have to remember to say, don't judge myself and everybody else. It's my reading at my own time, enjoyment first, pile checklist second. It has to be, otherwise I'm just going to go insane. So let me know in the comments what you've read this month, what you loved, without spoilers of course, what you were disappointed by. Was there anything that you were like, I was expecting more from this and I didn't love it? What book you're excited to read for your Novembers? Anything on this list that you have read that you would say, oh my God, move it up your TBR, let me know. I would love to hear it. And subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you soon.